Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel, Lee Day Hwang. So today I'm going to share with you guys a game-changing technique that helped me trick my brain into actually liking hard things. We all know how tough it can be to stay motivated when faced with a challenging task, like studying, working on a side business, or even just cleaning the house. But what if I tell you that you can rewire your brain to not only tackle these tasks but also to actually enjoy them? That's exactly what I did, something called a dopamine detox. In this video, I'll break down what a dopamine detox is and why it works, and how you can start using it today to boost your productivity and make those drastic tasks seem a lot more enjoyable. If you ever struggle with procrastination and unmotivated, you don't want to miss this video. So without further ado, let's dive in and transform the way you approach the hard work.
Why do we prefer doing these things? You probably don't have any problem playing video games or browsing social media on your phone, your computer. In fact, I bet you can sit in front of the screen or do both those activities simultaneously for 7 hours or even longer without losing focus. But what about an hour of studying? That might be too hard for you, right? And how about on your side business for another hour? It doesn't sound too appealing, right? Even though you logically know that studying, exercising, building a business, and doing other stuff equally productive will bring you more benefits in the long run. You still prefer watching TV, playing video games, and scrolling through social media. Why is that? It's obvious why some activities are easy. They don't require much effort. On the other hand, activities like studying or working on the business are harder because they require you to apply yourself. But why do some people seem to have no problem studying, exercising, or working on their side project regularly? The answer lies in a brain neurotransmitter called dopamine. Dopamine is often considered the pleasure molecule, but it's not quite accurate. Dopamine is what makes us desire things, and it's that desire that gives us the motivation to get up and do other stuff like normal people. Understanding dopamine can help us find ways to make doing difficult things easier. By learning how to manage and stimulate our dopamine levels, we can boost our motivation to tackle challenging activities. This could involve setting goals, creating a reward environment, or finding ways to make the activities themselves more enjoyable. If you're unsure just how powerful dopamine is, let me share some fascinating experiments that neuroscientists conducted on Parkinson's patients. Parkinson's patients often lack dopamine. In one experiment, researchers increased dopamine levels using a drug called levodopa. The results? The patients became more agile, experienced fewer tremors, and had the motivation to engage in the daily activities like eating and socializing. They showed significant improvement in their quality of life, highlighting just how crucial dopamine is for normal functioning. Next, the researchers flipped the switch and decreased dopamine levels by stopping the levodopa treatment or using dopamine inhibitors. The result? The patients became very passive, lacked motivation, and showed signs of depression. They didn't want to do anything, even the basic activities like eating. This profound lethargy and loss of the right underscored the essential role of dopamine in our daily lives. You might think that physical needs like hunger or thirst drive us to seek food and water, but dopamine plays a crucial role here too. These experiments with the Parkinson's patients, much like the extreme rat experiments, highlight the profound effect dopamine has on motivation. Your brain sets prioritize based largely on how much dopamine is expected to get. If an activity releases a little dopamine, your motivation to do it will be low. But if an activity releases a lot of dopamine, You will be eager to repeat it again and again. Dopamine is released in your brain whenever you anticipate a potential reward from an activity. If you expect no immediate reward, your brain won't release. For example, before you eat a comfort food, your brain releases dopamine because it expects the food will make you feel better, feel good, even if it might actually make you feel worse. Your brain doesn't care if the high dopamine activity is bad for you, it just wants more of it. Take for instance a drug addict. Despite knowing the harmful effects of drugs, the addict craves more because the drugs like cocaine or heroin release a natural amount of dopamine, intensifying the craving. Of course, nearly everything releases some amount of dopamine, even drinking water when you thirsty triggers it. However, the highest dopamine release occurs when you receive a reward unexpectedly. One clear example of high dopamine activities is playing a slot machine in the casino. Even if you will be losing money, you keep playing because you expect a big reward eventually. You just don't know when it's happened. Just uncertainly keep you hooked. In today's digital world, we flood our brains with unnaturally high amounts of dopamine daily, often without realizing it. High dopamine behaviors include scrolling through social media, playing video games, and watching internet pornography. Each of these activities involves an anticipation of some reward, which is why we constantly check our phones expecting to see a text message or notification. We are becoming like Ras or Parkinson's patients, pulling the lever for a dopamine hit. You might think, so what? Just coffee. But that dismisses the complex interplay between caffeine and your body's internal balance. Our bodies rely on the principle called homeostasis, striving to maintain a stable internal environment. When we introduce substances like caffeine, our body adapts to preserve this equilibrium. For instance, when you first start drinking coffee, the caffeine serves as a stimulant, blocking adenosine receptors, which normally promote relaxation and sleep. This makes you feel more alert and awake. Initially, this might seem beneficial, but as you continue to consume caffeine regularly, your body begins to adjust in response. Over time, to maintain homeostasis, your body compensates for the continual presence of caffeine by increasing the number of adenosine receptors. This adaptation means that the same amount of coffee no longer produces the same alertness. It now takes more caffeine to achieve the same effect, demonstrating tolerance. This is homeostasis in action. Just as your body shiver to generate heat when it's cold or sweat to cool down when it's hot. It also adjusts its biochemical pathway in response to regular caffeine intake. Similarly, this mechanism of tolerance can be seen in other scenarios, such as with alcohol or dopamine, where regular exposure leads to a decreased sensitivity, requiring more of the substance to feel the same effects. This adaptive response, while aiming to maintain internal stability, can lead to dependence and withdrawal symptoms, showing the profound impacts of seemingly harmless habits like your morning coffee. When your brain gets used to high levels of dopamine, it becomes harder to enjoy activities that release less dopamine. They start to feel boring and less fun. This is why people often prefer playing video games or browsing the internet over studying or working on the business. Video games release a lot of dopamine, making us feel good and comfortable, while studying or working hard releases less dopamine, making these activities seem less appealing. It's not just the ranked addicts who struggle with the dopamine tolerance. People addicted to video games, social media, or internet pornography experience the same issue. Once their dopamine tolerance gets too high, they can't enjoy activities that release lower level of dopamine. So, what can be done to prevent this? The answer lies in performing a dopamine detox. What is a dopamine detox? A dopamine detox involves setting aside a day to avoid on highly stimulating activities. The goal is to stop flooding your brain with a high amount of dopamine and allow your dopamine receptor to recover. Important note, if you are suffering from other work addictions, please seek the professional help. You may have developed physiological and psychological dependence. Is crucial to avoid extreme withdrawal symptoms. How to do a dopamine detox? Alright, let's talk about how to do a dopamine detox. For one whole day, your goal is to have as little fun as possible. Here's what you need to do. No internet or technology. Put away your phone, computer, and any other electric device. No music. Skip the playlists and podcasts. No masturbation or junk food. Avoid these quick feasts for pleasure. Basically, you'll be removing all sources of external pleasure for the entire day. You're going to be embrace boredom, and trust me, there will be a lot of it. But don't worry, there are still some activities you can do. Go for a walk, enjoy nature and the fresh air, meditate, spend time in a quiet reflection and mindfulness. Be alone with your thoughts, reflect your life and your goals, and write down the ideas. Use the physical notebook to jot down any thoughts or inspiration. No computers or phone allowed. I know this might seem intense, but if you want to radical result quickly, you need to take the radical action. Why a dopamine detox work? Now you might be asking yourself, why does this even work? Think of this way. Imagine you've been eating every single meal at a best restaurant in the town. Over time, those fancy meals become your new normal. If someone offered you a bowl of plain price, you'll probably refuse it, right? It's just couldn't taste as good as your usual restaurant meals. But if you suddenly found yourself stranded on deserted islands and starving, the bowl of plain rice would start to look pretty appealing. That's what dopamine detox does. It starts you off on the usual pleasure you get, making those least satisfying activities more desirable. From now on, every single week for one whole day, you're going to avoid specific high dopamine activity. You can still do other things, but the behavior you pick is off limits. Yes, you feel slightly bored, but that's the point. You want to let your dopamine receptor recover from the unnaturally high dopamine that's been flooding your brain. This boredom will put you to do other things, things you usually put off because they don't release as much dopamine, and because you're bored, it's become easier to do them. Avoiding high dopamine behavior once in a while is good, but ideally, you should minimize this behavior as much as possible. Instead, try to connect more dopamine to activities that actually benefit you. Your currently high dopamine activities can serve as an incentive to pursue things that offer long-term benefits. You can tie dopamine activities as a reward for completing difficult work. Here's what I do. Track low dopamine work. I keep track of on a difficult dopamine task I complete. This includes cleaning my house, practicing guitar, reading books, exercising, creating YouTube videos, rewarding yourself. After getting a certain amount of work done, I reward myself with high dopamine activities at the end of the day. The key is to indulge only after completing the hard task, not before. This ensures that I stay motivated to finish the low dopamine to work first. To give you an example, for every completed 45 minutes of low dopamine work, I reward myself with the 10 minutes of relaxing activity. So if I complete 8 hours of low dopamine task, I allow myself roughly an hour and 20 minutes of high dopamine behavior. These are my ratio, but you can tweak them suit your preference. However, if you're addicted to something harmful to your health, don't use that behavior as a reward. Instead, find a different, less damaging reward that you still find enjoyable. My personal system worked to reward ratio for every 45 minutes of focused work. I reward myself with a 10 minutes of something fun. Adjust ratio. Customize this system to fit your needs and preference. For instance, use my preferred 30 minutes of work followed by 5 minutes of reward, or any other ratio that suits your best. Healthy reward, avoiding using harmful activities as a reward, instead choosing healthier alternatives that you still find enjoyable. For me, it's my guilty pleasure is bingo watching TV show. I can easily get lost online for hours without doing anything productive. That's why I have this system to control my addiction. But even with this system, I still plan days where I abstain from the high dopamine activities completely. This is possible to make difficult things feel easier. But when your brain is constantly flooded with dopamine, it's hard to get excited about activities that don't release much of it. That's why you might want to limit your phone and computer usage along with other high dopamine behaviors. By balancing work and reward, you can make completing challenging tasks more manageable. Limiting your exposure to high dopamine activities like excessive phone or computer use can help you stay motivated and productive. Final tips: limit high dopamine activities, reduce phone and computer usage, plan detox days, occasionally abstain from high dopamine activities, start detoxing. If you have motivation problems, start a dopamine detox as soon as possible. Separating yourself from unnaturally high amounts of dopamine or at least reducing your exposure will make everyday low dopamine activities exciting again. You're able to do them for a longer period without feeling bored or unmotivated. Trust me, it's worth it. We are on dopamine addicts to a certain extent, and that's actually a good thing. Dopamine motivates us to achieve our goals and improve ourselves. But the key question is, where are you going to get dopamine from? Will it be from activities that don't benefit you, or will you get it from working on your long-term goals? The choice is yours, not me. It's up to you to make that choice. Please choose wisely, and you will see the benefits in every aspect of your life.
Alright, that is for today's videos. I hope you found this guide on dopamine detoxing as enlightening and helpful as I did. Remember, it's all about resetting your brain to appreciate those low dopamine detox activities and finding joys in the tasks that truly benefit your long-term goals. If you found this video useful, please give me a thumbs up and share with anyone that you think is benefit from it. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss any of my future videos. So drop a comment below and let me know how it goes for you. And if you have any questions or topics that you want me to cover in the future videos, so feel free to mention it in the comments as well. Now, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video.